Take Three Wrestling Podcast. It is February the 27th, 2025. We are back in the saddle once again after a week off due to some scheduling conflicts on my end. We're back and we're back at full strength, back from assignment from his excursion or his what do they call those that they send Japanese wrestlers on?
Nitro parties.
Nope.
Yeah,
God
that's
damn
the
it.
one. Nitro Party. Nitro Party.
I want to say it's an excursion.
Expedition.
Maybe you were over there at PWE Pro Wrestling Egypt, right?
So
Yeah, that's the one.
wait, it depends. Like, is it they're just sending them to wrestle in other companies, or they're sending them to live with Fabulous Moolah?
Excursion. I think it's excursion.
Oh, they're both excursions.
Something like that.
I think it's an excursion.
Yeah,
I think that's what Fabulous Moolah calls them too. Yeah.
No, she calls it something else. She calls it 15 will make her 50.
Jeez. She don't call anything because he's fucking dead.
Fucking dead.
She dead.
So we are back. We're gonna preview this coming up weekend's Elimination Chamber from the Sky Dome in beautiful Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Beautiful this time of year.
Been there. We went for the Summerfest and we watched a baseball game at that stadium. Pre them redoing all of it, so pre them putting the bullpens in right field because
I was gonna say it's like super nice now.
Yeah, it's like super beautiful now. Want to go back?
Everybody tells you can't polish a turd. Look at the Rogers Center.
Yeah.
They lied.
Yeah, they really did. We will also preview our predictions for the WrestleMania match cards that we've put off for a couple weeks due to Jim being on assignment and us not having a show last week. We'll also catch up on our fantasy wrestling as we wrap up the month of February. Spoiler alert, I'm blowing both of you out. So
yeah, I believe that.
Get wrecked. And then we'll also have Wrestlers of the Week to end the show. I guess let's pivot quickly to the fantasy wrestling to see if anybody wants to make any moves. Currently, after this week, I lead the way with 82 points. Joe's at 71. Jim sits at 62 currently.
Ouch.
High point scores for all the teams. I am currently being led by Tiffany Stratton. She has scored 16 points through the month of February. Jim has 11 points from current AEW Tag Team Champion Bobby Lashley and 14 points from NXT Women's Champion Gulia.
Bobby!
Joe's top scorer is the Men's Royal Rumble winner, Jey Uso. He also has gotten 11 points from the current TNA Wrestling Impact Champion, whatever the fuck they want to call it, Joe Hendry. That being said, we are leading into a pay-per-view. We are leading into some other fun things coming up down the road here. Revolution is in a week or so. So I think this may be an opportunity to make some moves for some people here. Again, for those of you following along at home, my roster currently sits with the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, John Cena, and Tiffany Stratton in my WWE spots, with Daniel Garcia, Konosuke Takeshita, and Will Ospreay being my AEW competitors. And my wild cards are Obafemi, Masha Slamovich, Drew McIntyre, and Shelton Benjamin. Jim currently has Gunther, CM Punk, Gulia in his WWE spots. In his AEW spots, he has Cope, Mariah May, and Bobby Lashley. His wild cards are Charlotte Flair, Bayley, Seth Rollins, and L.A. Knight. Yeah. And Joe currently, his roster in his WWE spots, he has Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, and Rhea Ripley. His AEW spots, Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada, and Swerve Strickland. His wild cards, Joe Hendry, Logan Paul, Sheamus, and Penta. I believe Jim had who had the first pick after Rumble.
I have no fucking clue.
Cool.
I'll be 100% honest.
So you got a wheel?
No, just flip a 3-sided coin.
All right, Jim, you go first.
Okay.
You're actually, you know what? We'll go in reverse order. We'll let Jim pick, and then Joe, and then myself if Joe wants to add anyone. Because I have a move or two I want to make myself. So, Jim, your selection, sir. If you would like to make any moves, we'll open the floor.
Yeah. Let me drop Charlotte Flair.
Okay.
And I am going to add Bianca Belair.
All right. Joseph, would you like to make any changes to your roster?
Who from the Chambers are unclaimed?
Well, now that Bianca Belair is claimed, let me bring up the Elimination Chamber card so I can. Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez from the women's. From the men's, it's just Damian Priest.
Okay, so I'm definitely picking up Alexa Bliss.
Okay.
So who are you dropping?
That's a good question. Who's on my roster?
Roman Reigns, Rhea Ripley, Jey Uso, Joe Hendry, Logan Paul, Sheamus, Penta.
I guess I'm dropping Sheamus. Doesn't feel like a very busy WrestleMania season for
And you're
For
adding
him.
who? I'm sorry.
Little Miss Bliss.
Alexa Bliss.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna release Shelton Benjamin because I don't think they have a. No, maybe I'm not gonna release. I'll release Masha Slamovich. I'm gonna add Trish Stratus.
Okay.
And it goes back to Jim if you want to make any other moves.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let me remove who. Let me remove LA Knight.
Okay.
And give me. Does anybody have Hangman Page?
Negative.
I'm gonna take Hangman Page.
All right. Joseph, do you have anybody else you would like to make a move for?
No, I'm pretty okay.
All right. So I'm gonna move Shelton Benjamin into my AEW spot, and I'm going to release Daniel Garcia.
Okay.
And for this week, because I'm probably going to cut him next week if I had to guess. Spoiler alert. I'm going to actually pick up Shinsuke Nakamura. He's defending the U.S. title on SmackDown tomorrow. So,
Okay.
so let's hope that Nak can get me a dub.
All right. Let me see. Do I want to make anything other? No. I'm not sure that he's winning, so let me drop. Seth Franklin Rollins.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take Sam Zayn.
All right. I like it.
All right.
I
am good then.
I think I'm gonna stay the course.
Okay.
And hope that the other person I want to pick up is there next week. All right. Yep. Cool. Lock it in, boys. So updated rosters: Cody, Cena, Stratton, Shelton Benjamin, Takeshita, Ospreay, Obafemi, Trish Stratus, Drew McIntyre, Shinsuke Nakamura for yours truly. For Jim, Gunther, Punk, Gulia, Cope, Mariah May, Bob, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Sami Zayn, and Hangman Page. For Joe, it's Roman Reigns, Rhea Ripley, Jey Uso, Kenny Omega, Swerve, Kazuchika Okada, Joe Hendry, Logan Paul, Little Miss Bliss, and Penta.
All right. There we go.
All right.
Do we want to do Chamber preview first, or do we want to do the Mania card prediction first?
I think Chamber preview, because if we're picking people to win the Chamber,
that makes sense.
I think it's the giveaway for who would be in the spots on the show then.
Yeah. Plus, I'm probably gonna be in transit in a second, so like that's an easy one for me to. If I have to dip out, if I disappear, just keep going.
Okay.
All right, Joe Hendry.
All right, let's start off. We will start with that unsanctioned match. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Joe. I was like, is he still here?
So it's an unsanctioned match. Is there even gonna be a winner? I feel like the answer is no, because I feel like this is just a setup to get us to a WrestleMania match.
Probably.
So I'm gonna go with no contest.
The setup comes after the match because they're not wrestling again at WrestleMania. This is their WrestleMania match. You're putting two Canadian legends in the fucking Sky Dome.
But then what are you doing with them at WrestleMania?
Sami Zayn's going to be in the multi-man car crash for the fucking Intercontinental title, and Kevin Owens and fucking Randy Orton are going to fight.
Yeah, I'm still going with no contest. I really hope they repeat it at Mania. I got to put that in the universe.
All right, Michael.
God, I hope you're wrong because I'm really sick and tired of seeing these two guys fucking fight each other at Manias and on big shows. Give me something new. I think I'm going to take Kevin Owens to win. I'm going to take Kevin Owens to sneak his way out of Toronto with a victory because I think it is the return of Randy. And I think that with the return of Randy comes something that has kind of disappeared for a little while, and it's time to bring it back. And it's that deadly punt.
Oh, the punt.
I think he comes back. I think he punts Kevin Owens after Kevin sneaks out with a victory against Sami Zayn. And here's the deal. I don't think Zayn and Owens need to face each other this year. I think this, like I said, I think this is their Mania match. It's kind of the same thing with Sami with beating Gunther last year in the IC title match. A lot of people are like, oh, cool, he beat the streak. But that Elimination Chamber match where he went in as like the underdog and like in his home city, like Sami Zayn's becoming Mr. Elimination Chamber.
Right.
So it's like double down. Let this be his WrestleMania. If he's involved in a multi-man match, if he's Shinsuke Nakamura's opponent for the US title, like whatever it is, he's going to have a great match there too. I just don't know that I double dip here right now. I think there's enough that you can do with both these guys. You ain't got to double dip. Let this be their big moment. I mean, to be fair, I'd contemplate closing with this match, really.
Yeah, I mean, in AEW land, you always do close with an unsanctioned. I think it'd be cool if they would. I doubt they do, because one of the two guys that I think would win the men's is going to close out the show, but we'll get
obviously
there.
More on that later.
Yeah, I think Kevin wins. Gets the upper hand over Sami, and yeah, I don't think we'll do a repeater. Even though the fans will always chant "Fight Forever," but
they can still fight forever, just
not at Mania. All right, next one, tag team match: Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton taking on Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. Joe, if you're still there, you might have bounced out. Mike.
Wait, what?
Oh, Trish and Tiffy versus Nia and Candice LeRae.
Oh, well, this isn't Vince McMahon's WWE, so I'm assuming Trish actually gets to win in Toronto.
All right, Michael.
There's no way that the champion's losing at Elimination Chamber leading into Charlotte Flair. You put Trish with her, she's going to get a huge pop in Toronto. Yeah, Candice LeRae, get ready to eat the fall.
Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah, this is going to be probably the easiest pick of the year. Trish and Tiffany Stratton, absolutely. All right, then we have the women's elimination chamber match for a match against the women's world champion at WrestleMania 41. We have Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Naomi, and Roxanne Perez. Joe, if you're there.
Yeah, I got cool music in the background now. Sounds like it could be an AEW theme. Wait, who's in the chamber? Oh wait, Alexa Bliss. That's why I put her on my team. I think she's winning.
All right, there you go, Michael.
So I know a lot of the 3CT guys listening to the show tonight were all in on Lil Liv. They just won the goddamn tag titles on Monday night. Like,
yeah, that's not happening.
I think I'm good on Liv Morgan right now. Part of me thinks that this could lead to something a little different. I don't think it's going to be Ballet. Let's be very transparent there. I think she's going to have a good showing in the match. I think that one or both of Bianca Belair and or Naomi may get taken out by a certain returning female by the name of Jade Cargill.
Okay.
So that leaves you Io Sky, or not Io Sky, that leaves you Roxanne Perez, Alexa Bliss, and that's it, right? I've counted out Liv, yeah. I've counted out Bayley, I've counted out the other two.
Yeah. Yep.
Who's the one that looks the closest to Liv that makes the most sense? It's not. It's on looks. It's Liv Morgan. On looks. It's Alexa Bliss. But I'm gonna go different. I'm gonna go Roxanne Perez.
Yo.
I think they strap the fucking rocket ship to her. I think they give her the main event. I think they give her a main match at WrestleMania to prove that this women's division in NXT is one to not mess with. Plus, there's also the chance that if they go this route, there's a WWE women's title match on Monday Night Raw that could very easily be interfered with. That leads to a triple threat between Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, and Io Sky.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah.
So I'll take Roxanne. Will not be surprised if Alexa wins it. Other than that, I don't know that there's a route that makes a ton of sense unless you're going Bianca and you're saving the Jade Cargill return to either take out Naomi or somebody else later on.
Yeah, I think that the only way that it could be Bianca, and it would be an interesting play, because she wins. She's obviously currently still a tag champion.
No, she's not.
Oh, that's right. They just lost them on Monday.
They lost the titles on Monday.
Right. All right. So she's free and clear there. But like, you don't want to go into a Mania match face versus face, right?
No.
I think if Bianca wins, we're gonna find out that Bianca was the one. That not necessarily
it was me, Austin. It was me all along.
Not necessarily she was the one that took out Jade, but she was the one that orchestrated it.
Yeah, like they say it was Liv and Raquel, and then Liv finally is like, it was your girl that sent me a text.
Right, like something like that. So that Bianca will have the match against Rhea, but you can now then tell that story out to WrestleMania or to SummerSlam. To WrestleMania SummerSlam.
Night 1 or night 2 of the Summerfest Manias.
Summer Mania.
See, here's my only problem with that though. I don't want a Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair match where the storyline is almost more focused on Jade Cargill than it is on the most popular woman in the entire company, Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I personally, I don't think it's happening. Like it, but like I can see like people thinking that Bianca's going to win the chamber, but like to me, if you're going to do that there has to be a heel in there, and I think Bianca turning heel, whether it's that way or another way, would be a lot of fun. She was a great heel in NXT.
What if they find out on Friday that she was the one that did it and she goes into chamber as the heel?
That could be as well.
Jade Cargill doesn't actually return, but they find out that it was her.
Right. Yeah.
And Jade doesn't show up until the Monday night after WrestleMania. Like she's always looking over her shoulder.
Well, and here's the thing. I think if we find out that Bianca was behind it tomorrow night, I think that's
Jade Coster.
I think that's a tell that Bianca's not winning the chamber, and that's a Mania match then. Yeah, it's. I really think when you start to boil it down, it's not going to be Liv. Probably not Bianca. Not going to be Bayley. Even though I love Miss Pam, not going to be Naomi. So then you really are. You're looking at Alexa Bliss and you're looking at Roxanne Perez. And look, I love Alexa Bliss. She is one of my absolute favorites. But when I'm looking, Alexa Bliss, who's on SmackDown, versus Rhea Ripley on Raw. Okay. Well, why would you bring Alexa, put her on SmackDown if you're only gonna move her to Raw with the championship in 6 weeks.
Or you're going to have her lose and end up on SmackDown, and is that when the Wyatt Six are going to try to pick her back up? And
maybe that's it.
Maybe
But
that's
it's a dead tell that Alexa's not winning the title.
correct.
So to me, it's like, why don't we roll with Roxanne Perez? And then I like your idea too, Mike, with the potential triple threat. I
also look at it from this regard. Sorry, not sorry. If there's a women's title match that's going to main event either of the nights, it is not Rhea Ripley versus anyone that walks out of this chamber.
Correct.
It's Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton.
Correct.
Also, sorry, not sorry. They're not main eventing either night of WrestleMania.
Also correct.
You're yeeting all over whoever night one, and you're getting Cody Rhodes versus Invisible Man, Phil from Chicago, whomever walks out of the men's chamber.
Right.
I think that's almost a slam dunk. So at this point, Rhea Ripley has been the most over woman in the WWE for the last however long. The same way I don't think you need to have a banger of a match for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley just has to have a good match.
Yeah.
Who gives her a shot to have a great match? A smaller heel female that she can throw around the ring.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think Roxanne fits that bill almost to a T. And you could even decide to put Alexa and Nikki Cross together and have them fight for the tag titles at WrestleMania as part of a multi-women match.
Yeah, absolutely.
And still have a major thing for Liv. So yeah, I'm going Roxy. My final.
All right, and last one, Elimination Chamber match. Men's Elimination Chamber winner gets a undisputed WWE Championship match at WrestleMania against presumably Cody Rhodes. We have John Cena, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, Damian Priest, Seth freaking Rollins. Dude, I love Damian Priest, but like
one of these things is not like the other.
Not like the other, right? It just, yeah, he's not gonna win here. But Joe, your prediction for the men's chamber?
So I'm gonna say two things. One, I'm gonna give you my prediction, and then number two, I want us to live in a world for a moment with an idea. Okay, but the first thing, who I think is gonna win, it's probably, I'm gonna say Punk. I think the Punkster's taking it home. The other thing I was going to say, though, is if they want to get The Rock over, the final boss over as, like, a heel, if they want to go, like, Mr. McMahon level heel with this guy, and I'm assuming, Cody turns down his offer earlier in the night, blah, 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 and they want to get him, though, like, he decides who wins the chamber, and he goes in there and helps the person and backs the person. Is there a different winner than Logan Paul where that makes sense? Because talk about the heat that they would get if The Rock champions Logan Paul like that.
I will say, yes, there's a way they get more heat, but that bigger heat doesn't take place till Las Vegas in April. I said it in the 3CT live stream. I will say it here. Phil from Chicago walks out of the chamber victorious. Rock is left with a decision to make on what he's going to do. Mind you, CM Punk cashes in his favor Saturday night, and that's how he wins the Elimination Chamber. Because the final man that's going to stand in between CM Punk and winning the Elimination Chamber is Seth Franklin Rollins. Who does Roman Reigns want to get his hands on for what he did to him at WrestleMania 40? Who wants to get his hands on him for curb stomping him multiple times after eliminating him from the Royal Rumble? It's Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns takes out Seth Rollins. Phil from Chicago picks up the Broken Bones, wins the Elimination Chamber. And I know you're hearing yourself, where does that leave John Cena? John Cena's WrestleMania match is going to be Logan Paul, because Logan Paul is going to eliminate John Cena to have the most heat coming out of Toronto imaginable. But let's fast forward. Spoiler alert. This is my WrestleMania Night 2 main event. We'll get there in a little bit. Phil from Chicago, the Nightmare Narcotic. It's going to be Bloodline Rules. Rock comes out, blasts Cody with a chair. Phil looks at him, and then he gives him that shit-eating grin. And he shakes the Rock's hands, and Vegas goes dark. Phil from Chicago walks out as the champion. And corporate Phil is born. Because here's the thing. Cody Rhodes is the people's champion. Let's go back to that first clip that Phil said when he was there. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. Who else is here to make money? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I'm not here because Cody used to be in AEW. I'm here for me. I get my main event. I win my main event. I get back my title. I am the best in the world. Heel CM Punk turns wrestling on its ears one more time.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, obviously, you know, and I don't think there's any mystery that this Rock wants Cody's soul thing. It's Cody's obviously going to deny the Rock, which then leads to things at Mania and blah blah blah. Yeah, like for me, I've said for a while, I think that the story of John Cena's final year is going to be a series of losses. Because again, they have hammered the point home many times. How many days has it been since John Cena last won? You think he's just going to come back and just win on his second try back? Not a chance.
I do think he wins his final WrestleMania match. That's why it's going to be a non-title match.
Right. But there's going to be a series of losses.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be another one where he gets so close. But a ghost from his past, CM Punk, gets him Saturday in the Chamber. And CM Punk wins the Elimination Chamber and goes on. And we'll talk about matches beyond in a moment. But yeah, it's that's that.
Is there any way that Cody says yes?
No, I don't think so.
But what if Cody says yes? Let's play this hypothetical game. Let Joe get home. What if Cody says yes? What if he sells his soul to the devil? Only for the devil to stick the knife in his back at WrestleMania. What if this is just a setup altogether?
I guess it could be.
Because wrestling hasn't had a swerve ever in its life.
No.
There's never been swerves ever in professional wrestling.
Never.
So, I mean, why not start with a swerve right now? Why not have Cody say, deal, and Rock stab him in the back? I think there's very telling ways to know what's going to happen. Phil or Cena win this match. What if it's heel Cena? What if once in a lifetime, twice in a lifetime turned into be my champion for the last year that you're here? What if Cena finally does the heel turn that everybody dreamed of and sells his soul to the devil? His wrestling soul only has 9 months left in it.
True.
Is 9 months worth the record? To a lot of people, it would be. I mean, I don't want to use this in terms, but you know, you and myself, Jim, are emotionally invested in somebody else trying to chase down a record.
Right.
You don't think Alexander Ovechkin would sell his soul for 14 more goals?
Yeah, I mean, possibly.
I mean, if you're looking at it and, okay, Alex, you're 39 and you hurt yourself and you might have 50 games left in your career. You're not going to sell your soul for 14 goals in 50 games to become the all-time greatest goal scorer in NHL history? 99% of the world is going to say yes to that. Yeah. Whether you're a hockey fan or not, you're going to be immortalized forever.
Yeah.
CM Punk might be the calmest of the storms. Drew McIntyre could be a big pawn. You want to know why? Because that's a big son of a bitch. That's a big boy. Good luck stopping that fucking express train when you got The Rock fucking powering behind him.
Yeah, really.
Honestly, and I don't hate Joe's Logan Paul description, but aside from Seth Rollins, I don't know that Logan Paul makes sense because last time I checked, that guy doesn't need a fucking blanket. He gets enough heat.
Yeah.
That guy's music hits and he gets booed out the fucking building. I don't think he needs any more help getting heat.
Mm-mm.
I'm living in a world where if it's Phil, I'm okay. If it's Cena, I think it's great. Because what if that is the and I know that Tim mentioned Cody's going to be the one who tries to free, or Cena's going to be the one that tries to free Cody from the Rock's, and that's the final thing that Cena does on his way out is free Cody's soul. But like, what if this is the heel turn from John that everyone was like, I'm waiting years for this? I get it. It's the farewell tour, but if you're already working limited dates, we're 3 months in or 2 full months in, he's worked 2 dates. 3 if you count the Netflix where he showed up.
I mean, I don't dislike the idea. I would be shocked if it happened.
Oh, I would be absolutely floored if it happened, but if we're putting random things in the air, let's see what we can come up with.
Sure, why not?
Let's have some fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. The whole conversation felt very, I don't know if they were in the same place with that promo.
Oh, that segment between The Rock and Cody?
It felt very weird.
Oh, that was banana.
It almost felt more uncomfortable than him coming out and taking his spot last year at WrestleMania.
Like, and here's the thing too, is you know, Dwayne's gonna Dwayne, but Cody, and I understand, and maybe it's just he doesn't play or wasn't playing the part of like the confused or bewildered
Bye, Joe.
You know, confused or bewildered champion who's trying to keep his spot well. But like Cody seemed out of place.
Yeah.
And just like uncomfortable in that segment. Which is not like Cody Rhodes.
Very uncommon.
Like it told me that Dwayne went quote unquote off script.
Did he go rogue?
Not even necessarily rogue, because I think we were getting to where we got.
He took the scenic route to get there.
Yeah. Big Dwayne was on one, man.
What do you think he was on?
Zoa,
chicken and rice,
Terramana tequila.
That's great tequila.
Chicken and rice.
That's great tequila, by the way. I have a bottle of it in my freezer.
Nice. Well, yeah, a little bit of chicken and rice.
Do you think he had a real American beer?
No, because it was SmackDown.
Okay. He was actually around all of Palm Beach County over the last like week and a half doing promotions for real American beer.
I believe that.
Did not go to any of them. I had a couple friends that went.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. I like if I can get my hand on one of the beers.
You will.
Yeah, like I will try the beer.
August, if worst case, I'm bringing it with me.
Yeah, like besides that, I mean, I'm not gonna search out hot piss. Like I'm not like 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 the commercials I see on my Raw on Netflix is enough for me.
Go to your local Total Wine. Hi, do you guys have any hot piss?
You guys got hot piss? Yeah, it's that shit that Hulk Hogan's horking.
Yeah, it's called Real American Piss or
Yeah,
something.
real American piss water.
Yeah, Real American Bush Light.
I would rather drink the water out of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Like,
I would rather drink the fountain water at any amusement park.
right? Like, I would rather like take my water bottle and just the whole time I'm going through fucking Pirates of the Caribbean, just fill them up.
Oh no, better yet, I'd rather drink the water of the former Splash Mountain, now Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Oh yeah,
Sign me up for that.
sign me up. That's real American beer.
Yeah, that's real hydration right there, brother.
God, I saw a video the other day. It was like one of the water. Somebody was like drinking the water. I had one of the water. I was like, oh my God. I'm like,
God,
I don't even want to know.
Now I want to throw up.
What diseases live in those waters. But yeah, it's a weird card. It's a weird situation. A 4-match card, obviously, that Cody Rock segment's gonna fill
5 ever.
match time.
5 ever.
But like it feels chalk, but it also feels very interesting just because the chamber matches are where the mystery lies.
True. 100%.
Because there's a lot of directions they could go. They really could. And
that unsanctioned match also better be like 35 minutes at this rate, because if not, this card's going to be real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I think the women's chamber will probably go
25.
Yeah, like in like the 18 to 25 range. I think the men's probably goes about 26 to 32. I mean, let's be honest, when you start adding commercials and promos and let's sell WrestleMania.
How long do you think Tiffany Stratton, Trish Stratus are going to get?
11 at most. Like it's not going to be a long match.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, it's
when you start thinking about it, not great, Bob.
Yeah, it's. I mean, again, it's going to be a 2.5 hour, 3 hour show. It doesn't need to be more than that.
Correct. I agree. I'm on here right now looking for Real American beer. Total Wine currently has a 12-pack for $16.99. Can't wait to not drink this shit.
Right.
Fuck. I have like oh God, we're gonna drink it and I'm gonna be fucking miserable.
You're right.
I hope you know I'm bringing more alcohol than Real American beer to the summer.
Oh, I would imagine.
Because I'm gonna drink one of them and it's gonna look like you drinking a Mountain Dew Pitch Black, and I might throw the can at someone. Brother, let me tell you something. Yeet. Start throwing cans at people, cutting promos midway through. Yeet.
Yeah, we'll have to make plans for that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we want to start.
Sure. I mean, we could start it. I mean, I would say that when he comes in, we can catch him up on what we've kind of put into place.
Sure.
Or what we've discussed. There are obviously some matches. Basically, what I decided is I was going to use last year's WrestleMania as the kind of logical starting point of how many matches were going to be on both nights.
Okay.
So, night one, we had our 7 matches. Night 2 had 7 matches. I kind of went that same way.
I have 8 on Saturday, 7 on Sunday.
That's fine. Don't hate it. Works for me. Obviously, so I think what I want to do is I want to get the matches out first and then kind of move them onto nights. At least that's what I did on mine. I just kind of wrote out matches. If you have them already on nights, I'm okay with that as well. Because I can kind of figure out mine on the fly.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I have a framework now. I'll be honest. I did mine a couple of weeks ago. So it may some of these may not make as much sense, but
sure,
we'll play on the fly.
I'm just trying to remember. I wrote something down and I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. All right. So obviously we have 2 announced matches already.
Mm-hmm.
Gunther, Jey Uso, Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton.
Correct.
Already announced, already on the shows in some way, shape, or form. If we're using who we suggested win the chamber matches, that would leave Cody Rhodes versus Phil from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Rhea Ripley versus, in Joe's case, Alexa Bliss. In my case, Roxanne Perez. I believe you took Roxanne as well.
I did.
So that would be Rhea versus Roxanne.
Yep.
Okay. So if we're going off of that, there's 4 of the at least 14 matches that we're currently planning. Let's see. Women's World WWE. All right. So those 4 matches out of the way. Let's talk first match that we think is a slam dunk for WrestleMania. Do you have anything that you think is an absolute slam dunk that you want to bring to the table as match number 1?
A slam dunk, I feel like, is the WWE tag titles, DIY versus the Street Profits.
Do you think it's a one-on-one team, or do you think it'll be a fatal 4-way? Do you think you get Pretty Deadly and Guns?
Maybe, because Pretty Deadly has been up there.
They had a match against DIY for the tag titles that got interrupted by the Street Profits that caused a disqualification on Friday's SmackDown.
Let's toss Pretty Deadly in there.
So no Machine Guns.
No.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's in.
Okay. That works for me. My first. See, I don't necessarily know that it's a quote slam dunk, but I want to bring it to the table. IC title Braun Breaker versus Sheamus.
Ooh, okay.
Sheamus needs the IC title to complete the Grand Slam. I wouldn't be surprised if Braun Breaker tries to potentially go title versus career.
Oh. Like
Braun goes, I've already beaten you. You have nothing that I want. And Sheamus goes, how about me career, feller?
Right. Like if I can't beat you, I shouldn't be here anymore anyway.
Kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
So I that's what I have for my IC title match. I don't know what you have for yours. If you want to counter, and maybe we can come up with a.
So I had written down Braun, a 4-way, Braun, Penta, Sammy, and Ludwig Kaiser.
It's also a good one.
I do like that Sheamus idea. I do like that. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that Sheamus idea.
All right, Braun Breaker versus Sheamus, title versus career. All right. U.S. title on the men's side, current champion Shinsuke Nakamura has a title match against La Knight this coming up Friday, tomorrow, tonight. Or it already happened if you're listening to this on Saturday prior to Elimination Chamber. My U.S. title match, I don't have Shinsuke Nakamura as the champion. I also don't have LA Knight as the champion. My U.S. title match is a man who's going to win the U.S. title shortly before WrestleMania and then lose the title at WrestleMania. It's Jim Uso.
Oh, okay.
My U.S. title match is Jim Uso versus Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu.
Wait for the U.S. title.
Yes, I have Jimmy beating
Nakamura tomorrow.
No, I have LA Knight losing to Nakamura tomorrow. I have Jimmy winning it shortly after Elimination Chamber.
Okay.
So I have a triple threat match of Jim Uso as the champion versus Solo versus Jacob Fatu, and I think that's where Jacob wins his first gold.
Oh, okay.
Personally, again,
no, I like that. I have Nakamura LA Knight just because I haven't been connected enough to the product.
So that's actually, I think that feud is ending tomorrow night.
Okay.
Now maybe Shinsuke is just in the match, but I don't know that Shinsuke fits the whole bloodline question mark trilogy thing that is kind of going on between Jacob, Solo and everything going on right now. I wouldn't have an issue potentially if it's maybe Damian Priest is the guy who faces Nakamura, because you're going to have to figure out something with Damian Priest once he doesn't win the chamber.
Yeah.
Now that he's on SmackDown. Drew McIntyre's another one. You know, maybe it's I don't know. I'm back and forth on kind of where I stand with the US title. Part of me thinks it's a multi-man match because the IC title I have as a singles match.
I mean, it could be.
If we're living in a world where we got to put Nakamura in it because he's the current champion, I think we just got to figure out a couple other guys that are on SmackDown to put in the match with him.
Yeah. I'm going to throw like Andrade.
What if it's Carmelo?
I'm going to throw Andrade. I'm going to throw Jim Uso. I'm going to throw Carmelo in there.
Okay.
In mine.
That works. I'm cool with that.
Nakamura, Andrade, Jimmy Uso, Carmelo Hayes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The U.S. women's title, currently held by Chelsea. Is it going to be on WrestleMania, or is it the Friday Night SmackDown before?
So I got all of my titles onto my card.
So do I. That's why I was asking where you stood.
Yeah, I got all the titles on.
Okay.
Because you can always, kind of piecemeal and throw something on a Friday night if you have to. I have a three-way. I have Chelsea versus Bayley versus Zelina. The hard thing is, I feel like they've created these secondary women's titles and they've had zero plan for, at the very least, the women's US title. Besides, Chelsea Green winning it first, which I agree with.
Correct.
But yeah, just wow.
Yeah, it's kind of just been like, oh, look, it's there.
Right.
Which is like, well, gee, thanks. This is stupid.
Yeah.
So I've gone back and forth myself on, what I thought made sense, what I thought was questionable. The only person she's really been feuding with is Michin.
Mm-hmm.
She really hasn't been involved all that much with anybody else. Man. I'm trying to figure out if there's Anybody else that makes sense? Because I also had Bailey in mind. I had Zelina Vega in mind. And then I was like, do we see a world where like Piper Niven's like, screw you, I want my shot now.
Right.
I don't know if it happens here. So like, oh man. Let me see. SmackDown Hotel. Go to my favorite website. Wow, there ain't shit on that roster. I will, because I don't think it's going to be Michin. Damn. I think we just stay with the triple threat then, because I can't think of anyone else to put in.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. But it's like, just kind of the reality right now.
The concept sounded awesome, and then the bell rang.
I guess Bailey shouldn't even be in my match because she's on Raw. So let me substitute Bailey with Michin.
Wow, I forgot Bailey's not even on that roster. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I think she was there when I wrote it down or something. That actually helps me on another side.
Okay. IC title currently held by Lyra Valkyria.
I mean, I feel like this is kind of almost where you have to get Bailey on the card.
Mm-hmm.
She's not in the title picture. I'm just gonna do Lyra versus Bailey straight up. Because I don't just want to keep just doing multi-person matches for no reason.
Yeah. I'm so because I think the other women's match, I think there will be one other singles women's match, but I think it's going to be Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair.
Oh, it's probably a good point.
So I'm going to go multi-woman match: Lyra Valkyria, Bailey, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark. Actually, no. Scratch Pure Fusion Collective. Lyra, Bailey, Alba Fire. Because we gotta start using her. And Natty.
Okay.
Because I don't think anybody else is coming up from the women's division of NXT before WrestleMania.
No, I doubt it.
After WrestleMania, there might be something in play, but we'll get there. I don't know what the fuck they're called. The Raw tag titles.
Yeah, that's just the world tag.
Okay. The Viking Experience. Oh no, it's not them anymore, is it?
War Raiders. It's still the War Raiders.
Yeah. I honestly I thought it was Judgment Day again, and then I remembered it was Liv and Raquel Judgment Day tag team.
It's gonna be them versus the New Day, I think.
I think that's 100% what it is.
Yeah, like that's just kind of
that's the singles tag match on the show.
Yeah.
Women's tag titles.
I have now, granted, I don't know what their injury status is, but I have Liv and Raquel defending against Zoe and Shayna and a returning Kabuki Warriors.
Okay. I don't know their status either. So I had the Pure Fusion collection. I had Liv and Raquel, obviously the champions. I have Dakota Kai and Io Sky. And I have Caden Carter and Casey Katana Chance.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's a way to get 8 women on the show. I thought it was a smart move there. And I think it gets a lot of the women, sorry, Ivy Nile, sorry, Candice LeRae. I mean, you could put Nia Jackson, Candice LeRae in that match and make it almost like a 5-team match if you really wanted to, so that they both get on the show also.
Right.
I don't necessarily have them on there, but that's something that you could put on paper if you really wanted to. So that gets us to 11 matches.
Yep.
So we got between 3 and 5 matches left to get.
I have 3. I have 5 more. I have 2 more Saturday, 3 more Sunday.
Okay, so
which we already mentioned one of them, Jade and Bianca.
Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
All right, let's put that on paper.
So where I have, and they've kind of cooled off on this a bit.
Okay.
I don't know if he's hurt or not, but they fired it up at Saturday night's main event, and I have Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman. Which I know they've kind of cooled off on that a bit, but I feel like that's something you could also heat up. Or honestly, and I know it's kind of fast tracking a bit. I mean, we're still 2 months out or 7 weeks out. Jacob versus Solo.
So
because that feels like it's kind of pulling at the seams.
I don't understand why my computer's being full dumb right now. So Braun Strowman and Damian Priest tagged up to beat Jacob and Solo on last week's SmackDown, which Jacob accidentally super kicked Solo, causing the match leading to the finish.
Okay.
So I think I'm more in on Jacob versus Solo than Strowman. Personally.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't hate the Strowman idea, but I think me personally, I think I'm more Jacob versus Solo because I want Jacob to really beat Solo and then be done with Solo.
Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. It's just unclear where they're kind of progressing.
What if they do and I'm just gonna throw this out there because it's what I do. What if this is the Damian Priest, Braun Strowman, Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa Fatal 4-Way? Make it a number 1 contenders for the U.S. title or the world title, whatever. Either title you want to make it a number 1 contender for.
Sure.
I mean, we got to find a way, I think, to get those guys on the show.
Agreed.
Hold on, let me. Hi, Joe.
Hey.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna switch mine to Jacob's Solo.
Okay. So we're currently manifesting the card, and then we'll do what nights they're on. Currently, as it stands, obviously Jey Uso versus Gunther and Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton already formally announced.
Oh, we have to go with the formally announced matches? Okay.
Correct. Cody Rhodes versus the winner of the Elimination Chamber. I believe we all selected Pepsi Phil. So we put him in there. Rhea Ripley versus the winner of the Women's Chamber. Myself and Jim both took Roxanne Perez. You took Alexa Bliss.
So wait, are we just like building a show together?
I mean, we kind of are, but we also kind of have our own matches.
I mean, I'm okay with that. Can I propose my favorite match?
Sure.
How far have we gotten in proposing matches?
Well, we're a little bit down the road there, bud.
All right. Well, I don't know
But
if you have any of these people already, but I'm very passionate about this one, okay?
okay.
It's a steel cage match. And
Yeah.
it's a little different, okay? It's Penta versus Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar versus Dragon Lee versus Dominic Mysterio versus Andrade versus Chad Gable in a Lucha Daisy Fuentes match. So it's Escape, and the last person in the ring either loses their hair or loses their mask.
The only person that we technically have used is Andrade.
So you can take him out. He didn't really matter. I just threw in another Lucha guy. What do you have Andrade doing? Out of pure curiosity.
I have them in the U.S. title 4-way.
So do I.
Oh, nice.
Currently, I have built. Well, me and Jim kind of hybrid built it together. DIY versus the Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly for the SmackDown tag titles.
Yeah, that makes sense.
IC title versus Career Braun Breaker versus Sheamus.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
That's what I have. I think Jim had Braun Breaker versus.
I actually changed mine to the
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
U.S. title match: Jim Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, and Shinsuke. I had proposed Jim Uso beating Shinsuke prior to WrestleMania and having Jim Uso versus Solo versus Jacob Fatu, which led to Jacob winning his first singles title in WWE. But then we decided to go with the caveat of the current champion has to be in the match.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
That's where we went with that. Chelsea Green, Zelina Vega, Michin for the women's U.S. title.
Sure.
Lyra Valkyria versus Bailey versus Natty versus Alba Fire is my women's IC title match. Jim had.
I just had Lyra versus Bailey.
I hate to say it, but I don't think an IC women's title match is making it on WrestleMania.
It might not. I got all of the titles onto my card.
I feel like there's more of a chance. Yeah, I feel like there's more of a chance that you get like a women's tag title match versus like one of the singles women's match titles, other than like the main titles.
Don't worry, we'll get there. The Raw tag titles: the War Raiders versus the New Day.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Women's tag titles: Liv and Raquel versus Dakota and Io versus the Pure Fusion Collective versus Caden Carter and Katana Chance. Jim had the champions versus the returning Kabuki Warriors and
Zoe Shayna,
the Pure Fusion Collective.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill.
Do you guys really think that's what's going to happen with Bianca?
I 100% think she goes heel, and I 100% think that match happens at WrestleMania.
I think should. I think it should happen, and I think it'd be cool if it did.
So, okay, wait. Here's the question, though. And what if it's Bianca and Naomi? And what if it's a tag match instead? Who's got Jade's back?
Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
Oh,
dude, the building would fucking blow off the roof if Britt Baker came walking out.
The doctor will see you now.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
Wow. Jim's not a big fan of that one.
God. Man. I mean, it'd be a cool moment. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a cool moment. But, man.
Who would you have, though, then? I mean, is Becky on the table?
I mean, I guess she could be. I mean, it'd be a pop.
I ain't going that route.
Where'd you go?
Person I'm going with ain't gonna get a pop, but I think it makes a lot of sense.
Who's that?
I go to NXT and I call up Jada Parker.
Okay.
I like that.
Jada Parker, Jade Cargill.
I mean, yeah, like you basically just couldn't do that as a surprise. It couldn't be a mystery, but you
Correct.
announced that a week or two in advance. That's a good fucking match on the show.
I'm just saying because I'm not trying to be that guy, but I'm trying to be like I don't know that putting in white bread Becky Lynch is.
Are you
the most
suggesting
logical.
that Becky Lynch lacks in melatonin, so she's not allowed in this
I mean,
match?
at this point, I think Brandy Rhodes would be a better insert into this match than Becky Lynch.
Okay.
Personally, I'm sorry, Becky Lynch, great in-ring performer. Don't think she fits this role at all.
She does not fit in this.
Because at this point, you're just gonna have Becky as the workhorse of the match, and Jade Cargill's gonna come in, overpower the two of them, and get the fall.
Cameron comes back for one night only.
Yeah, girl bye.
Yeah.
With that terrible fucking
Clay in their corner.
Oh God, hard.
he was actually he actually had a 2-night like show at the Palm Beach Kennel Club like 2 weeks ago.
Doing what?
Didn't go. Just talking about a bunch of stuff.
Oh God, that sounds terrible.
Yeah,
I'd rather get hit in the fucking yam bag by a fucking
Yam Bag Jones,
like a fucking like automatic puncher for 2 hours. Just
right
fucking
in the
speed bag my
Funkasaurus.
nutsack for 2 hours. Then listen to fucking Brodus, goddamn Iris the douchebag. Get the fuck out of here.
Somebody call his mama.
Like seriously, just like, well, just cut a hole in the table and lay me on it, and just like put my yam bag through it, and like
Yam Bag Jones.
Let a fucking cat smack at it for 3 hours.
To be fair, if Jade Cargill returned as the heel, I could see like her getting Nia Jax to be her partner, but
she's returning as a face.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
So wait, okay.
I don't think it's any of the metaphor girls.
Bailey out as a possibility because, like, again, lack of girls club.
B-Fab.
Oh God.
Nobody deserves that.
Nobody wants that.
What about if they finally get Kiana James healthy?
Yeah. Hey.
Possibly. I feel like she's destined for NXT or the unemployment line, unfortunately.
Easy killer.
I'm not trying to be mean, but let's just be fair here.
You know what? Let's just call up Nikita Lyons. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think that there's a ton of options there.
No,
I'm looking at this roster right now. Lola Vice.
Nope.
Kalani Jordan.
Nope.
Michin, if you don't put her in the IC title match or the US title match.
There could be potential there. Because I feel
Michin's
like
about the
Michin
line.
used to kind of hang out with like Jade and Bianca and Naomi. So I think Michin's your play there. If
I wouldn't hate that.
I think she's the only one that
be
makes sense that's currently on the main roster.
And let's be fair, like if Jade Cargill's still green on a big stage,
that's what I'm thinking. That's where I'm like, maybe that's a tag match.
Yeah.
Because like she was getting better, but she's also now been out injured for what, like 6 months?
I don't think she was actually injured. I think she's been spending time at the Performance Center.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She may have been dinged up. I don't think she was seriously hurt.
Okay.
So like the way I look at it is if Bianca's good enough, she can carry Jade to a good match and make her look like $1 million.
True.
I'd agree with that assessment.
Like I don't hate the tag. I don't hate the tag idea either. I have it as Jade Bianca on mine, but I certainly would not be opposed to the tag.
And then the last match that we've discussed, Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa. Solo, I love you.
I don't know. I feel like Jacob's going to end up fighting Damian Priest.
Okay.
Because I don't know what else you do with Damian Priest.
The fatal four-way of Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, Damian Priest, and Braun Strowman for the number one contender for the fucking U.S. title.
No, I don't. I think it's going to be a one-on-one match. I really think it's going to be Priest and Fatu.
God, I can't wait to fucking take a piss during that match. Because
So
I'm
wait,
gonna tell you right now, 365 days later, still could give less than one fuck about Damian Priest.
Yeah, that's valid.
Great passion, no fucks given.
I've got a match to propose.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, and this is outside the box.
You had a Lucha Daisy Fuentes match, whatever the fuck that.
I did. Lucha Daisy Fuentes. Okay.
Yes. Yes, Jim. Yes.
Never mind.
Daisy Fuentes in a shark cage match.
No, it's not. No. It's actually it's off the beaten path because it's a title match, but it's a title match that's never taken place on WrestleMania before. In fact, it's a title match that's never taken place in WWE before. But I think there's an opportunity here, okay? Follow me on this. Let's get Joe Hendry in here, defending the TNA World title against the man most synonymous with the TNA World title.
Perk Thuggins.
Uncle Al.
AJ Styles.
I will raise you a third member of that match.
Okay.
Former Impact Wrestling World Champion Drew McIntyre.
I like that.
I like that too. I like that a lot because you got to get him on the card, I guess, somewhere.
Yeah. I think it would be monumental for the TNA World title to be defended on a WrestleMania.
That'd be fucking wild.
Like you want to win the Forbidden Door back and forth of it all? That's as forbidden as it fucking gets.
I mean, I enjoyed watching the Hardys defend the TNA titles on NXT, and they're going to defend them against Fraxium at Roadblock.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're already kind of, they're flirting with this as it is. Let's just go all the way. Like, why are we just playing with the titties? Let's go home.
I think there's a better chance that it's probably on the TakeOver card, but I'm here for it on the Mania card.
I added it to mine. I think that's fire. All right, what are we doing with John Cena? I guess let's address the elephant in the room.
I liked your Logan Paul idea.
I have him against Logan Paul.
Oh, yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah, originally, when I wrote mine, I had him in the U.S. title match against Nakamura because I figured this would be the place where his luck turned around, and his luck turned around originally in his career when he won the U.S. title at WrestleMania.
Did he ever hold the IC title?
I don't know.
No, he hasn't.
I mean, I feel like he's got to win that at some point. I would almost thought about that against Braun Breaker, but then I chose Sheamus for title versus career instead. Yeah. But I think Logan Paul makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, that's one elephant in the room. I mean,
I have Kevin Owens, Randy Orton. I think that's going to stem from this Saturday as well.
All right, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I only have one more match on mine.
All right, so we have 16 matches listed that we've kind of talked about.
What's your last match, Jim?
My last one also, I think, could stem from the Chamber, or it just stems from their fucking 15-year history or whatever with one another. And I think it goes back to the end of last year's WrestleMania main event when Roman Reigns chose to go after Seth Rollins, because you know what I mean? Like, I'm looking up and down this card and I'm like, Roman doesn't fit anywhere. Rollins doesn't have a match. You're not having a WrestleMania without those guys. And that is a story that, I mean, they haven't wrestled one-on-one since the Rumble match when Rollins came out in the Shield music. Like, yeah.
And they've never wrestled 101 at WrestleMania.
No. So
and if we're being honest, don't think Roman actually has a victory over Seth. Like, maybe at some point
by DQ at
that's how, right, exactly. He didn't win that match. Like, some point maybe in the last 10 years they've had a match where Roman has won, but since the Bloodline storyline and all this, he's not beaten Seth. That's part of the storyline.
Yeah.
Like, truthfully, the way Mike laid it all out earlier, I don't know. I've been wondering how all of this was going to come together for WrestleMania, because I feel like Triple H's booking in the last 2 years has mostly been, hey, we're building long-term storylines. Sometimes you just got to let things simmer for a while, and you'll understand how we got to where we got. And the last couple of months leading up to WrestleMania have felt very like, I don't know where you're going. None of this makes sense. What are we doing here? And now I think we're about, 3 days away from finally seeing what the pot's going to look like as it starts to boil. You know, I think we're finally on the cusp of that. And part of that is, like I said, like I feel like I don't know where things are going. I feel like Mike laid out a whole lot of, here's all the pieces you've been putting together. Here's how they make sense. You know, it's the Roman gets eliminated from the Chamber and you're down to Seth and Punk, and
Roman's not in the Chamber.
Okay, well, there you go. But Roman shows up at the fucking Chamber and, like, you know, you get the favor and all that. Like, there's a lot that can happen there that makes too much sense not to happen to get us to these places. Roman Seth makes too much sense not to happen.
Yeah. I agree. I had that. That was one of the slam dunks that I had. Jim, I think you're muted, or your microphone.
No, I'm good. I was.
Oh, you look like you're mouthing something, but then I didn't hear anything. That's why I was.
Yeah, I was typing, and I was probably thinking with my mouth.
That's how I think.
Yeah. Is there anyone right now, before we try to put them on shows, that we think that we're missing? Because I have a match that I want to bring up, but I don't know that it happens on Mania. It may happen the night after.
Well, here's the thing. How many matches do we have right now?
If you're going based off of mine, I think we have either like 16 or 17.
Okay. Are we being realistic to current WWE? Or are we doing our own thing?
I mean, we're trying to be. I mean, there was 14 matches total on both nights of WrestleMania last year.
I was going to say, so if we're being realistic, we probably already have like 2 or 3 matches that we need to cut.
One of them is probably one of the women's mid-card titles.
Right. Like, what match do you have to propose that you think will make the cut over 4 other matches we already have?
Probably none.
Okay. Well, what match was it? Now I'm just curious.
Because it was going to be, because this whole add people to the Judgment Day. Dominic Mysterio was going to get Finn Balor to fight someone, and if they won, they were going to join the Judgment Day, and it was going to be Aleister Black.
Oh, I think he's going to come in after WrestleMania.
I was just Aleister Black versus Finn Balor on a WrestleMania show. Shut up and take my money.
You know, truth be told, if this is the year where we return to the Raw after WrestleMania being something that matters, which now that it's on Netflix, that might be a goal that they actually have.
That's a good point.
Bring back Aleister Black that night. Bring back Becky Lynch that night. Give it like there's things you can do with people like that to make that night matter again.
Just don't bring back Miro.
Oh, God. Please don't.
On Rusev Day.
You can bring back his wife backwards though.
Every day.
Hot and flexible.
Yeah, I mean, look, I tried to make sure I got all the titles on my cards. There's no world where that's actually going to happen. Some of those are going to be WrestleMania Friday. Some of those are going to be WrestleMania Monday. Some of those are going to be WrestleMania Never. But like, I just did it because I'm like, titles should matter. They should be on your biggest card. So like, yeah, some of your things like Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles will end up on, if they don't do the TNA title, like that'll end up on the card. Alexa Bliss meeting face to face with the Wyatt Sixes will end up happening at Mania, and the fucking women's tag title are not going to be on the main card. But yeah, I put him on there just because.
I feel that.
I
guess let's start building the actual foundations of night 1 and night 2 then.
Okay, I have an idea.
Can I
throw something out there?
Go ahead, Joe.
Only because it's 12:44 at night. What if we sat on it for a week and put together the night 1, night 2 of it all?
That was going to be my suggestion. Because I've already been podcasting for almost 5 hours, and I'm fucking exhausted.
And it gives us a week to and see the Elimination Chamber, and maybe we can make some final decisions on okay, this match makes sense, this one doesn't.
I mean, with the exception of having to change chamber winners and any potential tweaks there, I don't think we should change any other matches. The matches that we have selected should be the matches. And then so Mike, if you can send us a screenshot of what we have, and then Joe and I and you can all
Then I would say, before we wrap this, is there anyone that is not on this show that we want on this show? Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor.
Oh, you didn't put my Lucha Daisy Fuentes match on?
I mean, I can. I don't know that it's going to make the cut of the show. I'm just saying, is there anyone?
I think the Judgment Day will make their presence felt somewhere. I don't think it'll be in a match. I'm fine. I'm fine not adding, because here's the thing, there's always going to be people left off.
Yeah.
As much as they want to, that you can't get everybody on the Mania card. I think I like what we have.
All right, so we have 17 matches currently.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
All right, Wrestlers of the Week. We have 3 nominees this week because we did not do a show last week. We have multiple weeks of wrestling that we can nominate from. Jim, I will let you take the floor first.
Why don't we start off going back to Grand Slam, Timeless Tony Storm.
Joe.
I felt so much more prepared for this. Oh, the women's tag champions. Let me get Liv and Raquel. Rachel?
Raquel. I'm putting a little in quotes so that Joe can remember what they did that month for why they were nominated. So
very nice.
he won the triple threat match. He decided to destroy both Grayson Waller and fucking the Kid Leroy. Give me Oba Femi.
Nice.
All right, Jim.
I'll go with your new NXT Women's North American Champion, Stephanie Vacker.
Joseph.
Let me get Lyra for successfully defending her belt the other night on Raw. I actually really enjoy her feud with what's her face? No Eyebrows McGee. What's her name?
Wow.
Dang, that's hard.
You know what? Just for that, I ain't gonna answer her fucking name.
My brain's not braining, but no.
What's her alopecia? What's her name?
Jesus.
All right, my pick is the Hardy Boys.
Very good. Good Lord. Give me still your AEW Continental Champion. Wait, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Okay.
Didn't Takeshita to do something last night?
Takeshita defeated Orange Cassidy to retain the international title.
Give me that one. Give me big. Take. Give me big take.
Joseph.
I'm gonna take Penta for winning that 3-way on Raw this week. It was a good match.
Dude, how much does that guy look like a fucking $1 million in WWE?
He really does. I never understood why he wasn't like that in AEW.
It's
honestly.
fucking insane.
Like, you signed this guy to make him this level of a star.
Like the
There's no other reason you signed this guy.
Wait, do we have him on our card?
No.
Okay, we need to get fucking Penta on that card somewhere.
Okay, we'll talk about that off air because I've already closed that part.
Yeah, that's fine. But we got to get him on there somewhere.
I'm throwing a flag.
What?
Joe nominated a guy who lost the triple threat match because Ludwig Kaiser won that match on Raw on Monday night.
Fuck.
So, flag.
All right, so I'll nominate Kaiser then. I'm okay with that.
Falsified information.
There you go.
It felt like Penta won the match.
Ludwig Kaiser rule.
I feel like you should put Penta in parentheses. Felt like he won.
Nope. Sprinkles are for winners. He's not a winner.
It's true.
You know what? My final selection made his Impact TNA debut live from Full Sail last Thursday evening. Who wants to walk with Elijah?
Nice. Very nice.
And he was victorious in the main event with Joe Hendry defeating the Colognes, who also made their TNA debut.
That's a lot of fun.
All right. That's Wrestlers of the Week. That's Wrestlers of the Month of February.
Shit, yeah, it is.
So, coming in real hot. I'm going to go ahead and send it to you guys while I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
Joe, talk about the Joe Movie Podcast or something.
We got to record a new episode. We haven't done one in a minute, but the Oscars are on Sundays, so that'll matter.
Do a preview show.
Yeah, or we'll do a post talk show is what we usually do.
Cool.
Jim.
Yeah, Huddle Up Podcast is now in the off season. Don't know when we're gonna record because life is pretty chaotic at the moment for
life
a
is
lot
life.
of us. But 3CT, we went a little long form this week talking about wrestle things, and we got into actually a pretty deep discussion about Triple H potentially arguably being a racist. So if you want to check that out, head over 3 Count Thursday on all your podcast platforms. We have a fun Tuesday show coming up, a Tuesday podcast coming up on Tuesday, much more lighthearted than is Paul Levesque a racist. But yeah,
that got real dark real quick.
You can get all of that. Yeah, Triple H didn't like it apparently. But yeah, you can get that at 3.
But he's into Asian women. He dated that girl from China.
But you can get all of that stuff and more by going to @BigJimSports on Twitter or Blue Sky and hit my link tree.
The views and opinions of Joe Lopez are solely that of Joe Lopez. They do not reflect Jim, Big Mac, or Think the Wrestling Podcast.
I mean, don't you remember that feud with Booker T?
There it is. Oh boy, make it stop.
No, like it was clearly not racist during that feud.
Will you stop?
Thank you, Gorilla. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've watched about a shit ton of Will Sasso doing imitation videos over the last week just so I could laugh. Follow him. He's fucking hilarious. You can follow me on Twitter @TheyCallMeBurn. You can follow the show @Take3 Wrestling. Sunny Days and Double Play is a Palm Beach baseball podcast. Gonna wrap up the season as we get ready to start the summer season here at the end of March. End of March we start. Contemplating this baseball show, trying to figure out a format that I want to use for it. More details on that in the coming weeks. Follow us on social media for all that information. But that's it. See you next week after the Chamber, where we will be officially on the road to WrestleMania. For Jim, for Joe, I'm Mike. We will see you next week right here on the Take 3 Wrestling Podcast.